All right, it's happening. Hi everyone, I'm Sandrine. Welcome to my review for Outlander Season 4. In the last video, I did sharing my TV favorites. I asked a few of you if you wanted me to do a review for the Season 4 of Outlander, and quite a few of you asked me to do it, so here I am. Also, before I jump into the review, I wanted to make a quick announcement because a few people have asked me if we would be reviewing Game of Thrones on Happy Cool, and yes, I know we haven't been putting that many videos on there, but yes, we will be reviewing the final season of Game of Thrones, which starts on April 14th. So Kenya will be back, America will be back, maybe some more people will be introduced, who knows. But yeah, there will be Game of Thrones reviews coming up. That will be on Happy Cool, so just go subscribe to that if you haven't. But in the meantime, let's talk about Outlander, starting with Marceline and Fergus. I expected to see them a lot more than what we did. It just felt like they would pop up here and there, but they were never really part of like the main storyline. They're just like, oh yeah, remember Fergus still exists and Marceline still exists and she's pregnant. So I don't really have much to say about these two because we didn't really see much of them. So hopefully we'll see more of them in season 5. Stephen Bonnet. I gotta say, when we first met the character, I didn't expect him to be such a huge part of the season in a really bad way. Like, I was like, oh, maybe we'll see him again, or maybe not. Or at first I thought he was actually a good guy, and then I was like, oh man, like, he is horrible, like, almost like extremely bad. And then it just kind of piles on, you know, because then he attacks Claire and Jamie, and then he's really mean to Roger, and then there's the rape. I mean, it just got like worse and worse and worse. And then we all know he totally made it out of the prison before it blew up, right? Like, come on, he did. Because what fun would it be if he just died and we didn't really see him die? I mean, I feel like they almost have to give the kill to Jamie or Roger or something like that, so it's like satisfying in some way. So I think he will be back next season. Moving on to Aunt Jocasta. I liked her so much. I like that she's an ally to Claire and Jamie and all of them, and I especially enjoyed her relationship with Mirta, which came out of nowhere. I was like, what happened? That's great. Hopefully we see more of that, or just, you know, once in a while they just kind of meet up, or I don't know. Speaking of Mirta, he's back! He's a blacksmith now, but also still part of the rebellion, you know? Still trying to do what's right. I also really enjoyed that he's back at Jamie's side and that we get to see more of him because Mirta is great. Another character that returned this season was Lord John and young William. He had also quite a big part to play this season. I especially love the episode where he goes to visit Claire and Jamie. I think episode 6, Blood of My Blood. I think that was one of my favorite episodes actually this season, especially once he gets ill and we get a lot of interactions between him and Claire and bonding over their love of Jamie, sort of fighting over their love of Jamie and bonding a little bit. But I love that Claire learned a little more about him and who he is. Like he's not like Black Jack. Like he didn't force Jamie to do something that he obviously didn't want to do. But I love that he's kind of like, well, you know, I could have had him if I wanted to, but I didn't because I'm a good person and I wouldn't do that. And I think that this really showed Claire in a way that he is a good person and he really does love Jamie. Really love him. And then of course I love that he also agreed to marry Brianna, of course, like pretend marriage, or like at least until potentially Roger would be brought back, and he was like, all right, fine, I'll marry you. And I won't lie, I kind of ship them together. Like I was like, oh, actually Brianna and Lord John, that would be kind of cool. Like I almost want her to be with him more than with Roger right now. Obviously it wouldn't really work out, as like it wouldn't be like a real marriage, but I just thought, as characters, it would be like a powerful couple though in society. I'm just saying, like they have strong personalities. I think both of them would be really cool. Young Ian, I feel like he won the season. The final act, I was like, what? And my first thought was like, oh no, Jenny is never gonna see him again. Like that's just so sad. But at the same time, I was like, go Ian, like taking Roger's place. I don't know, it was so selfless, so unexpected, and so cool. And it pretty much fits perfectly with who he is and who they've built him up to be. And he also seemed to be the one that had the most connection with the Native Americans, so it makes sense that he would end up wanting to live with them. Well, I mean, not wanting, but just would be up for that. And I love that at the end he really passes their ritual, unlike Roger. So yeah, I think it was like an exciting end of season for Ian. But I think that probably means we won't be seeing much of him, or at least not to the extent that we've seen him before. So it's going to be interesting to know if we do see his evolution or not. Moving on to Jamie and Claire. So they're now living in America. Overall, I really enjoyed everything that has happened to them this season, but I feel like there wasn't any big moments that really stood out to me or that I was like, I love this. They had some good moments, definitely. I always enjoy watching Jamie and Claire. Obviously, that's why I watch the show. I think the episode where they go to Jocasta for the first time was a really powerful one, but I think it was more of like the situation was powerful and good more than a Jamie Claire moment, if you know what I'm saying. I was hoping for more, to be honest, and I really do feel like this season was more of a focus on Brianna and Roger, which, you know, it's fine. Like, I like them fine, but I was hoping we would see a little less of them. Like, at some point, I was watching the later episodes and I just felt like, oh wow, we spent a lot of time on Brianna and Roger, which is, I mean, it's fine, but I just wish it wasn't so much. I hope next season we see more of Jamie and Claire, or we see a little more of their relationship and them doing things rather than it being influenced by Brianna or them having to find Roger, because I feel like even the conversations that they had always revolved around Brianna, or a lot of the time, which makes sense because she came in the past and all of that, but still, I hope next season we'll be back to focusing more on Jamie and Claire. Speaking of Brianna and Roger, let's first discuss my loss of love for Roger. I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that way, but to me it happened in episode 3 when he proposes to her and she refuses, and then he gets really mad at her and he tells her some really horrible stuff, and I was like so shocked and so upset and disappointed by Roger that I was like, I don't think I can like Roger anymore. I actually don't think I want Brianna to be with him anymore. And to be honest, I still feel that way by the end of the season. I still feel like I don't really want Brianna to be with Roger, which is probably why I kind of want her to be with Lord John Grey, because I'm like, well, he's better than, Roger. But I don't hate Roger. I just was upset with the way he reacted to Brianna. More than once, by the way. So yeah, that's kind of my overall thing with Roger. And I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that, but if you do, like, let me know, because I want to like him, because I used to really love Roger in previous season, but that moment really just upset me. And I don't know why, but it just upset me. And I was like, I don't know. And I know he did a lot of good things this season, but I don't know, this just really, I just can't forgive him, I just can't forgive him. The whole time travel was also very exciting, though. Like, Brianna actually going in the past, because I didn't think that was ever going to happen. I actually thought we would probably not see much of them anymore, but she went back, and of course you have the whole, Jamie finally meeting his daughter, but at the same time it's hard to connect because she's an adult already, and it's like this other adult is kind of like, I'm your father. It's like, yeah, but I'm an adult. Like, you can't really tell me what to do, and I've already got my personality and all of that. So I thought that was interesting and it was exciting. Her meeting Leary was crazy. Of all the places, you're like, of course, Leary would save her, because why not? Then, of course, we have the reunion back with Roger, which actually I enjoyed that moment when they do the hand fasting and they have this whole ceremony and they finally are together. And I'm like, all right, maybe I'm going to be able to love Roger again. But, then didn't happen. And of course, they have a fight. Of course, she stumbles upon or runs into Stephen Bonnet. And I'm so glad they didn't show the actual rape scene, because imagining it and kind of seeing around it was traumatizing enough. It's in those moments that you watch the show and you think, so if I have the opportunity to go back in the past, I should not take it, because this just sounds like a really bad idea. Then we had the beating of Roger by Jamie, which was kind of frustrating in a way, because you're like, oh, why are you mistaking him for the other guy? But at the same time, I understand that if Jamie really thought that was the guy that raped Brianna, his actions make sense, but you as the audience who knows that it's Roger, you're like, no, stop. And then poor Roger gets sold into slavery, and then he escapes, and he has a chance to go back to the present. And I have to say, I wouldn't have judged him if he had like taken that chance to just go back to the present and escape, because I was like, Roger, just leave, like just do it. Don't go back. It's okay. Like I wouldn't hate you for this, actually. I would totally understand, because I would have been like, screw this, I'm out. Like I am not going back. But no, Roger goes back, and I was like, come on, Roger, what are you doing? What are you doing? You could die. And then after everything, the staying, the young Ian taking over for him, he still hesitates to go back to see Brianna, because possibly the baby she's carrying is not his. And I was like, come on, Roger. See, this is where the frustrating thing comes in, where I'm like, really? Really? Like you literally put your whole life at risk by staying there, but then you're not sure you want to go back to her because she got raped and is maybe pregnant with the baby of someone else? Like, really? That's where you draw the line? I don't know. I mean, I know you might need a second, but it took a little longer than I was happy with. But at the same time, it was, for the dramatic effect of like, he didn't come with them and she thinks he has abandoned her. And then we have that great moment where she sees him from the window and runs to him. And it's like, I love you. I love you. Yes, let's raise this baby together, even though it might not be mine. So it creates like a nice dramatic moment, which I get, but I'm still so frustrated with Roger. So hopefully next season I actually start to like him a little again, because this season I was like, nah. And the season ends with Jamie being tasked to hunt down Mirta, pretty much, which is like, okay, that's going to be interesting, but at the same time, better him than someone else, right? Overall, I feel like it was a good season. It wasn't my favorite, but I still really, really enjoyed it. I mean, sometimes I would like pile up episodes and then watch them back to back to back, and I loved it. And I was like, oh my God, it's so good. And then when it ended, I was like, oh, but I love it so much. I just really enjoy the characters, the world, and everything. I can't wait for next season, because this show has taken a direction that I did not expect, and I think that's always very exciting. And of course, I still haven't read the books. Don't plan on reading them, at least not right now, because it's so much more fun for me to just be surprised every time. So those are my thoughts on season 4. Of course, I would love to hear what you thought of the season. What did you like? What did you dislike? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear all your thoughts. Hopefully, should have a new video soon talking about my new TV favorites. I've been watching some good shows, some old shows, some new shows. It's gonna be fun. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!